At 45 years old, I thought I had my career figured out. For 2 decades, I'd poured my heart and soul into a marketing firm, climbing the ladder from a fresh-faced intern to the senior marketing director. I was loyal, I was dedicated, and I delivered results. My team consistently exceeded targets, and our campaigns won industry awards. I wasn't just an employee, I was part of the company's foundation. Then, a new CEO took the helm. Her name was Cassandra, a woman known in the industry for her sharp suits and even sharper business tactics. She was brought in to shake things up, which usually means cutting costs and boosting profits at any human expense. For the first few months, I kept my head down, focusing on my work and hoping my track record would speak for itself. But inflation was hitting hard. My mortgage payments were climbing, and my kids' college funds needed a serious boost. After landing a huge new client that was projected to increase our annual revenue by 20%, I felt the time was right. I had done my research. A 12% raise would bring my salary in line with the industry standard for my role and experience, especially considering my contributions. I scheduled a meeting with Cassandra, preparing a detailed presentation showcasing my team's recent successes, the new client win, and market data supporting my salary request. I walked into her sleek, minimalist office, feeling confident and prepared. She listened with a polite but distant smile. When I finished, she leaned back in her expensive leather chair, steepled her fingers, and looked at me over her designer glasses. "A 12% raise, Mark?" she said, her voice dripping with amusement. "That's ambitious." I started to explain my reasoning again, but she cut me off. "Look, you've been here a long time. We appreciate your loyalty." She said loyalty like it was a quaint, outdated concept. "But at your age, you should be focused on stability, not chasing a huge pay jump. Let's be realistic. The market is full of young, hungry talent who would kill for your job at half your current salary. We can offer you a standard 3% cost of living adjustment. Take it or leave it." I was stunned, not just by the rejection, but by the sheer disrespect. At my age, the words echoed in my head. She wasn't just devaluing my work, she was devaluing my entire career, my experience, my worth. I felt a cold knot of anger tighten in my stomach. I managed to mumble a thank you and walked out of her office, my presentation papers feeling heavy and worthless in my hand. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her words kept replaying in my mind. Young, hungry talent. Was that all I was now? A placeholder waiting to be replaced by someone cheaper? The company I had dedicated my life to now saw me as a liability, an old piece of furniture that was too expensive to keep. The anger I felt slowly morphed into a quiet resolve. She was right about one thing: the market was full of talent, but it was also full of opportunity. Maybe my loyalty had been misplaced. For the first time in 20 years, I updated my resume. I polished my LinkedIn profile, highlighting the very achievements Cassandra had dismissed. A friend of mine had recently left to join a fast-growing tech startup. He'd been trying to recruit me for months, but I'd always politely declined out of loyalty to my firm. That night, I gave him a call. "Hey, is that offer to chat still on the table?" I asked. He was ecstatic. "Of course, we need someone with your experience to lead our global marketing expansion." The next week, I had a series of interviews with the startup. They weren't just interested in my past achievements, they were excited about my future ideas. They didn't see my age as a negative. They saw it as a wealth of knowledge and strategic insight. They didn't scoff at my salary expectations. In fact, their initial offer was 20% higher than what I was currently making, plus significant stock options. Walking into Cassandra's office to hand in my resignation was one of the most satisfying moments of my life. I kept it professional. I placed the letter on her desk and simply said, "Please accept my 2 weeks' notice." She looked up, genuinely shocked. "What is this? Where are you going?" "I've accepted a position as the vice president of global marketing at a new company," I replied calmly. Her jaw tightened. "We can't be replaced, Mark. Let's talk about this. Maybe we can revisit that raise." I just smiled. "Thank you, Cassandra, but my decision is final. You taught me a valuable lesson about my own worth and the importance of not staying where you're not appreciated. It was time for me to be more ambitious." The fallout at my old firm was immediate. The huge client I had landed, their contract had a key person clause tied to me. When they heard I was leaving, they threatened to pull out unless the firm could guarantee a similar level of leadership. Without me, they couldn't. The client followed me to my new company. Losing that account was a massive blow, and Cassandra's reputation took a major hit. The board was furious. Her strategy of shaking things up had backfired spectacularly. Within 6 months, she was quietly asked to resign. As for me, I'm thriving. My new role is challenging and incredibly rewarding. I'm respected for my experience, and my ideas are helping to shape the future of a dynamic company. That 12% raise I asked for seems small now. My total compensation with the stock options is nearly double what I was making before. Sometimes, the worst thing that can happen to you turns out to be the best thing. Being dismissed and devalued was the push I needed to step out of my comfort zone and realize my true potential. My old boss thought my age was a weakness, but it turned out to be my greatest asset. And that's a lesson worth more than any raise. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. See you next time.